In today's video, I got my hands on an early sample of the new APR Ultralink at-home tuning solution. We're going to see how that works on the Mk7. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm super excited to be sharing this video and this content with you because as of right now when I'm filming it, looking at YouTube, there's no other pieces of user-generated content out there yet on YouTube about this APR Ultralink. So it's a pretty exciting experience to be able to be one of the first to share this with you and give you a look at what that looks like and how it actually applies in real life on the Mk7. Now there's two things I want to hit you with right out of the gate when it comes to this video. And number one is I know at-home tuning isn't anything new. In fact, that's the only way I've upgraded my car in the past, going from stock to stage 2, and then stage 2 to the IS38 tune, has all been in the comfort of my own garage. In fact, most of the mid to large tuning houses have some sort of at-home tuning solution already. But now APR does as well. And APR is one of the most trusted and ubiquitous names in the Volkswagen and Audi tuning marketplace. And they have a ton of customers out there. And if you're wondering why this is a big deal, well, for you, it really might not be. However, I can tell you for all of those customers who typically have to go visit a dealer for any change they want to make, this could be huge. Now, if they want to change a fuel program on their car, if they want to update their tune because they're running into some issues, or if they want to detune their car before going in for warranted service, which some people do, they no longer have to go to a dealer anymore, which is pretty big. Now, the other thing I need you to know before I get too far into this is APR did send me this product early. They sent it to me at no cost, and they paid for all the software that I'm going to be running on my car. But I'm not being compensated directly to make this video, and all of my thoughts and views on this are going to be my own. However, this isn't going to be like a huge review, but more of an overview of my experience with the software. So as I just mentioned, this video will be more of a quick overview and unboxing of the product. I'll share what the flashing process looks like and give you a sneak peek at the software. And then I'll compare it to maybe some of my previous experiences of installing software through Unitronic. This will not be a head-to-head showdown or comparison of APR Stage 3 IS38 software versus Unitronic's. I just got it running the other day, so I don't have any data to be able to really compare, but maybe that'll be something I do in the future, but we'll see. All right, let's take a look at this bad boy and open the box. So right off the bat, we got a box inside of a box, but it's a pretty sexy APR box at that. When you receive this Ultralink, inside the box, you'll find a pretty standard at-home flashing kit. You'll receive the Ultralink unit, which connects via your OBD2 connector. You'll receive maybe, I think it's like a 4-foot long USB-C to USB-A cable. The USB-C end connects to the Ultralink unit itself, and then the USB-A connects to your computer. On the lid of the box, the URL to the software store and interface that you'll be using is provided. It's ultralink.goapr.com. And you'll receive a couple of APR details as well. What should we be able to actually do with this thing? So at its core, at-home tuning or flashing your car is simply installing new or augmented software onto your car's ECU and TCU by tuners like APR. Now, specific to the Ultralink, its key selling points are the following. 1, it acts as a gateway to APR's catalogs of hundreds of thousands of tunes. You don't have to pre-order tunes with this unit, but rather connect it to your car and then browse all the tunes that are available to you, which is kind of nice. Next, if you don't see your car's configuration in their catalog, you can simply work through their marketplace to have a custom tune created. You go through, select the configuration of your car, and then submit it, and then you'll get alerted when the tune's now available for you. Next, once you've tuned your car, you can easily change your fuel program, your launch RPMs, and a bunch of other different settings on your vehicle and tune it at any time at no extra cost. The next one's a big one that APR has been promoting in their marketing material, and that is you can buy one Ultralink and then use it to tune as many different vehicles as you like. So you can do your own and then help out a friend with theirs. It's not VIN locked to your one vehicle. However, this doesn't mean that you can just buy one tune and use it on a friend's ride who might have the same make and model as you. Obviously, you have to buy separate tunes in order to tune a different vehicle. So you can't just recycle them, but you can use this on multiple vehicles, which is neat. Lastly, you can use it to reset your vehicle's ECU. You can use it to reset your flash counter on your ECU if you want to clear how many times it's been flashed. And in a pinch, you can also use it to scan and clear engine codes. One feature that I haven't seen mentioned for the Ultralink is the ability to data log. A couple of the other tuners out there offer cables where you can data log, which can be a really helpful feature for understanding what's going on inside your vehicle, but I haven't seen this mentioned for the Ultralink just yet, but it may be something that's coming later. So those are the Ultralink basics. Now let's head on out to the garage to test this thing out. All right, we're here in the garage. I think I have everything that I need to get this tune started. I have my Mac computer that's running Microsoft Windows, key point there. I have my Ultralink as well as my Ultralink cable, and I have the wagon. I also have my keys. You will need your keys because you do have to have your ignition on. And then the last thing, I took a precaution. APR doesn't necessarily suggest this anywhere in their documentation, but I've had to do this on previous tunes, or it's suggested on previous tunes. I do have a battery tender hooked up to the battery to make sure that it doesn't die during this process. So let's get started and see how it goes. I'll pull the camera around here so we can see the computer. But to get started, and I think you can go in either order, but I'm going to hook up the Ultralink to my OBD2 sensor here. If you're wondering what's dangling there, that's my connection for my P3 gauge cluster up in this vent here, which I absolutely love. Next, I'm going to hook it up to the computer here. You can obviously sit in your car and do this, but this is a little nicer so you don't have to be all cramped in there. Just logging in. And finally, I am going to turn on the car. And turn off the lights. All right. The other thing I should note that it is suggested that you're using Google Chrome to run the software here. So to get started, you head on over to ultralink.goapr.com. If you already have an account, you can log right in. I'm already logged in here. If you don't have an account, go ahead and sign up for one. The other thing you may need in this process is your credit card in order to check out and buy the tunes that you want. You got a couple options. You have an email opt-in to their program. You have Create a Tune, which is what we'll be using. You can update your Ultralink. Fun fact that as soon as you go to Create a Tune, your Ultralink will get updated. And you can view your history as well as view a help section. So we're going to jump right into Create a Tune. We're going to hit Continue. Here it's choosing the device that's plugged into your computer. That's called the HTG composite device. I'm going to hit Connect. Now it says it's going to take about a minute. I've ran through this a few times without actually fully tuning the car just to test this out. I find it takes about 35 to 45 seconds at this process. So that just checked the firmware on the device itself and it's all up to date. And here's where you get your options to configure your ECU or your TCU. So we're going to start with the ECU. I'm going to be doing both. There's obviously debate back and forth about it, whether you need to update your transmission to go with your ECU tune. I highly suggest it. It makes the drivability of your car on a regular basis much more enjoyable and fluid. So there I just chose the IS38 tune. Now here I'm going to choose what octane I prefer to run it at. I have 91, 93, or 100. I'm going to go with 93. And that's the real beauty of this at-home tuning solution from APR that you couldn't have done before, is being able to switch between those fuel maps at any time. And I believe there's no cost to just switch between fuel maps within a tune. If you're going to totally change your tune, then obviously there is some cost involved. Now I'm going to head on over to configure the TCU. So right now available to me, I have stock, stage 1, stage 3 for IS20, or stage 3 for IS38. I do have a DSG transmission. I'm going to leave the automatic upshift enabled as well as the downshift enabled. I'm not getting that crazy where I'm pushing it that hard. I'm okay using some of the smarts built in. And I'm going to set the launch RPM max at 4,500. I'm not really sure what to choose here. If any of you guys watching have a suggestion, I'm open to it. And that's it. I will say that process so far, I remember when tuning with Unitronic, it was a ton of fun because it was a little bit scary. I had to download their proprietary software where this is all through the web. And it felt fun because I felt like I was hacking my ECU a little bit, right? And doing, getting really into the weeds. And that made it fun, but it also made it a little intimidating where this is much more, I don't know, I guess we'll say cart or, you know, like client or cart-based sort of style of purchasing like you would buy anything online. Now here's where it's going to list out your totals because I've partnered with APR on this unit and I'm previewing it with them. There's no cost to me on this. I do have some of the costs I'll put up on the screen here from before that so you guys can see what those average tunes run, but nothing's changed on their pricing of most of their tunes. So I'm going to hit complete. Now here it says, please make sure your vehicle is in a safe location. The vehicle is not drivable until programming is complete. Many warning lights and chimes will be active during the programming. This is normal and will be reset at the end of programming. You can check your battery voltage, which the only downside here is it's not giving you a target of what it should be or where you want it to be. Obviously, we know 12 volts is the battery's full. Usually it's slightly higher than that when the car's running. It'd be great if there was a range, though, of like, don't start this if, but there's not. So, and maybe it automatically tells you you can't if it's below a certain amount, but I'm unsure. So ECU, quick configure my vehicle to begin programming. Here we go. So on the screen, it doesn't appear that much is happening. The lots of flashing fun lights and beeping going on inside the vehicle right now. All right, so it says vehicle program has completed. I'm trying to remember back from my first ECU tuning stages if I needed to like turn on and off the car. I feel like there was some of that in the process, however, doesn't seem to be needed here unless it's after the TCU tune. It's not giving me any other sort of instructions, so I think I should be okay just to proceed to the TCU configuration. So that's what I'm going to do. Vehicle programming has now been completed. After programming, trouble codes need to be cleared. Please key off and wait 5 seconds, then key on, then click clear trouble codes. All right. All right, I'm gonna key off. Oh, well, that's not good. I just unplugged it. Let's see what happens there. One, two, three, 4, 5. Key back on. So if you didn't see what happened there, I kicked out the connector. All right, so it says we can unplug and start the vehicle. So technically it says you can start your vehicle and unplug your Ultralink cable. I don't think it should matter at this point, whether it's before or after. I'm gonna unplug this, move this out of the way. And we'll give it a quick start. I'm in the garage right now and the kids are sleeping, so, but just to make sure it works. So now let's just go for a quick drive and see how it goes. So right now I'm just exiting my neighborhood. I'm in standard drive mode and everything seems to be working just right, but everything right now seems to be going great. There's no check engine lights or anything like that showing up at this time. So now I'm going to flip it over to sport mode and push on it just a little bit. So for now, everything's working great. It's a beautiful day out. I don't know why it's so hot out, but I think it's 74 degrees out. At least that's what my car says. So I think the windows gotta go down. So that is the APR Ultralink. What I can tell you right now is it worked exactly the way it was supposed to and did exactly what I expected it to do. For me, I would say the biggest positive right now of the Ultralink is the software itself. The marketplace of how you select and configure your tune is pretty slick and shopping cart-like experience, and it gives you the confidence that you can do this process right in your own garage. If I compare that to the Unitronic, Unitronic was just as easy of an experience, but you had to buy the tune, then buy the OBD2 connector, then connect your account, and make sure it was all ready and connected and available for you when it came time for tuning. It all worked out great, but this APR setup, I will say, is a little bit more intuitive and a little bit less intimidating. Although brownie points for Unitronic's old school all black software aesthetic, because it did make me feel like a hacker, and I was like getting into my computer's brain, making all sorts of changes, so that kind of fun, but also a little scary when you were doing it. I don't really have any negatives to share right now about this tuning process by APR. I would just encourage them to continue to build on their simple, friendly user interface. I mean, that was its biggest benefit, and there were a few points in time where I saw in the video, it does tell you to connect to a battery charger and that what voltage you should be looking for before starting this process. But those notes aren't in the software, so if they just added quick little callouts or quick instructions and checkpoints of things you should be doing before you continue forward, that would continue to make this software really nice and really simple and really straightforward. Now the Ultralink's available in the US for $130, and the question is, should you spend your money on it? Well, if you're an APR customer already and have interest in changing programs or making adjustments, then 100% you should think about picking one up so you don't have to spend money and, probably more importantly, the time to go back and forth to the dealer for simple adjustments. Now, what if you're not tuned yet? Then should you get an Ultralink? Well, that's really up to you. Now that APR has an at-home solution, the nice thing is you can evaluate their tunes against the likes of Unitronic, IE, and Tunezilla and choose the best tune that's going to fit what you want and need out of your vehicle without the barrier of knowing that you're going to have to go to a dealer if you choose APR. So I hope this was helpful. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you APR for sharing this unit with me, and I'll see you all in the next video.